Hey guys, it's Landon, and today I wanted to talk about traveling to Wales and Ireland. Super beautiful countries. Well, I have some Irish in me, so I felt like it connected there. But I'm Landon Cobb, and this is Cobbs and Culture. So when we first arrived, we actually took a train into Wales and spent some time in Wales. Now, Wales is probably has the most beautiful people. When we were there, we stayed with a lady in an Airbnb. She drove 45 minutes just to pick us up from the train station to take us to our Airbnb. She lived in this small little house on a boat town right on the coast of Wales. She just took such good care of us. I honestly, out of all the places I've traveled, I will say that the Welsh people, or at least this lady we met, was the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. Wales is super awesome. A couple things to do when you're in Wales. Definitely people think, oh, castles, go to Ireland. Wales has some beautiful castles. So make sure you've got some time to just kind of drive around and find some old castles, right? You can look up where a couple of them are, but I would definitely encourage taking advantage of that. We were able to go to a couple of different castles and climb around. Some of them that had been abandoned, which are like, what? How would someone abandon a castle? And it's like, well, like here, like if there's a castle, everyone's like, yeah, let me go take pictures by it. But they're not that way because it's normal. So there's a ton of awesome castles to go to. So I would highly encourage doing that. Also, the oldest house in Europe is actually in Wales. It's the oldest house that is still occupied by residents. So got a cool picture in front of that. But Wales is probably the most peaceful, tranquil place. And of course, like I said, the nicest people. The next day, we took a boat from Holyhead, Wales to Ireland, and we got to Dublin. Now, Dublin is a busy city, and I definitely would say Dublin is not where the beauty of Ireland is at. Now, Dublin is awesome. Of course, you can guess it. We went on a hop on, hop off as soon as we got into Dublin. And we stayed with an awesome guy in an Airbnb in Dublin. He was the nicest guy. He reminded me almost of like Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit, but like not in a crazy way. Like he was just chilling, smoking his pipe. Super nice. He offered to do our laundry for us. He just took really good care of us. So great people as well. But if you're going to Ireland, a couple things you've got to do. First, try to plan a way to stay the night in a castle. I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of castles have been renovated into hotels, and it's a super cool experience. We found a castle, and I'll attach a link to the castle that we stayed at, and we went there, and they literally treated us like royalty. Had a giant room, a giant bed, like full course meals. We were sitting in like king's chairs. There was knights all around, and what I loved about it the most is in the evenings we kind of just explored, right? It was right on the lake, so we kind of walked around the lake. We found a couple of old boatyards, and then just kind of wandering through the castle, looking at some of the dungeon areas, the cellars. Super cool. So I would definitely encourage, if you're gonna go to Ireland, even if it's a little bit out of the way, totally worth it, but try to stay the night at a castle. A super awesome experience. Also, Irish people, I'm just gonna say it, they have the coolest accents. We met a guy, I literally feel like I was talking to like Fred or George from Harry Potter because he sounded just like them, he looked just like them. So definitely in Ireland, the people are awesome, get to know them. One thing that we did as well in Ireland that was super cool is we went to a sheep herder. Nowadays we don't really, sheep herders, you think, okay, they've got a dog and the dog goes and tells them what to do. But this was a professional sheep herder who had trained his dogs based on whistles. So each dog had a different whistle sound, and he could communicate to them which sheep to move and where to move them based off of whistles. We had a puppy, and I couldn't even get the dog not to pee on the carpet with any technique, so incredible stuff that they were doing there. Also, the Cliffs of Moher. If you're going to go to Ireland, drive to the west coast. I know it's kind of far, but you've got to go to the Cliffs of Moher. It is freaking beautiful. It's cliffs right on the ocean side. They're ginormous, and the tealest purple water I've ever seen compared to the green. And the cliff sides, just a couple also castles on the edges. Super pretty. Make sure that you go and do that if you're in Ireland. Also, when in Ireland, right, they say you've got to drink beer. I don't drink, but of course we ordered a non-alcoholic beer and gave it a sip. It was disgusting, but you've got to when you're in Ireland. So if you're like that, I would recommend doing that. Also, just for kicks and giggles, while we were there's a lot of clovers. Found a couple four-leaf clovers, and I think it doesn't get luckier than a four-leaf clover from Ireland. But Wales and Ireland, super, super beautiful. Part of my heart will always be there. I hope you guys get a chance to go and visit Wales and Ireland.